I've not yet listened to the Peter Schiff, the latest Peter Schiff podcast, but just from the name of the video, I can tell already what he's going to say. And he said it before. Every time there was a better than expected or lower CPI number that's come out, and that is this is not the trend. Overall inflation is not coming down for long, and this may have just been a little outlier. But what a reaction in the markets! So I'm going to start. I mean, I wanted to make a short video, but and I'll try and keep it short, but I need to check out quite a few of the different sectors, starting with the markets. Let's start with the Nasdaq. So this is wild. I was just looking at the charts before hitting record. Look at this. I mean, already we went up way too much, and I was expecting a retracement, but just this news, and actually the day before the news, we kept on going. This is a massive gap up. We're basically, and we kind of closed at high of day on a lot of these. I mean, wait till you see the Russell. So it suggests more continuation. I think it's totally unwarranted because I think we're going to get some bad inflation numbers, which means we have to reverse the whole thing. But anyway, just for now, I feel like we will have a bit of continuation today. So, 388.5-ish on the Nasdaq, maybe not an extreme follow through because we've already had that. We had a lot of trading yesterday. So a lot of time to dissect all of that. S&P, same sort of thing. We could maybe climb to 453-ish, the last high put in over here. Dow Jones, also not too much to go until its next high, around 35,000, nice round number. And then the Russell, which had a absolute face-ripping move yesterday, also a little high. It's you can tell why I've got resistance here, support here. So I don't know how much further we can go, but that really did close a high of day. So that could actually make it all the way to here, basically 180, big round number. So, the indexes don't have much to go until they all encounter their own local resistance. So that's what I see happening today. It was just absolutely brutal. The Russell, I mean, it was the most beat up things that got the biggest rally. But I still feel like, when you look at the Nasdaq, the S&P, it's the same stocks that are really at their highs that reflect the S&P, the big 7, 10, 20 names that everyone knows, but all the little medium, let's say, Russell style stocks, they're all down near their lows despite this huge move. I mean, this huge move is nothing compared to where their stock prices are, from minus 80% to minus 74%. It's the same sort of thing. Anyway, the banks, they're also kind of close to, I mean, look at the XLF, that's sort of closed just within its descending resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if that kept on going, actually, just from the continuation I expect today. Again, like the Russell, the banks are being destroyed, and this huge move, and they've already had a big rally, doesn't change the chart too much. KBE, same thing, big move, up 6-7%. That's pretty good, quite close to resistance. So do they just stop here and then we sort of reverse? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I just feel like this is a ridiculous move just on this inflation number. KRE, same thing. Resistance here, I suppose, would be the last high, something like this. So a bit more continuation, but I don't expect a really continuous move all the way to this massive resistance, KRE and KBE. I think that's asking way too much. So basically every sector has resistance not too far away. We might as well touch that and see what happens. Okay, let's look at yields because that remains throughout the entire bear market, because to me it is a bear market. This is a bear market rally. This remains the most important asset class. So we've had yields come all the way down, of course, because now everyone thinks that rate hikes are over. So do I. Actually, the difference is I feel like just because they're over doesn't mean that everyone can just rejoice and buy stocks. Everything's going to be great. I think rates are going to stay high where they are. Roughly, they might go up actually a bit more in a couple of weeks or months as inflation is not subdued. But where they are for now is too much for the economy. So I think the economy comes down even if rate hikes pause. In fact, even if you were to cut rates a little bit, yeah, the market would go crazy. But I think it's still too much for certain companies to handle, and those companies can domino into other companies falling. So I just feel like rates are way too high for the economy to sustain these elevated prices. So, but anyway, for now they're coming down. The 2-year has come all the way down here, so that makes sense. 4.8. It's hard to call, in my opinion, the support levels on these different yields. So I'm not going to spend too long. I'm just going to let it happen, and we'll see where it curls. So the 2-year, I've got this area as, a base. Maybe, obviously this is a massive support zone. I don't know if we get to 4.3, but do we stop off on these little ledges here? Like, do we stop off at 4.7 maybe? I don't know. And I don't want to get too zoomed in about it. 5 years, same thing. I said we hit the ascending. Do we climb and test 5% again, or do we flush? Well, we flushed on news, so that's that. Now, how much lower do we go? I don't know. I'm not sure where support will come for all of these. I don't really want to guess it. It doesn't really matter actually either. Point is, it's going to come down a bit more, in my opinion. We're not just going to go all the way back up. This was big news. Although who knows, there's always news coming out every day, so it could be a contradictory news that comes out and just reverse the whole thing. 10 years, same thing. We flushed the ascending, closed the low of day. We'll probably go lower than this. It's hard to call. We could come all the way down here. I don't know. I don't even know if these are correct. Actually, I might just delete them and just let it happen and then just keep it simple. 30-year. Yes, this is flushed. The ascending is flushed. It's no longer valid. And down we go. This probably will work though. I think this is more obvious support zones around here, 4.3, 4.4. Maybe that's where we go. But the point is, we close the low of day. We should be going lower. We should be going lower. But who knows? There could be some news that comes out and just absolutely reverses everything. Okay, let's look at the dollar. So for all you commodity bulls out there like me, this was a big move. I think it was down like 1.5% or something. It was a huge day. Let's just see how much. Yeah, about 1.5, even more. So I thought we wouldn't go to 104.5. Obviously, the news helped that, but we went right through that. Now, honestly, and with yields going to go lower, in my opinion, I think we will actually come down to here, 103. So I don't know if it's going to be 103.5, 103, but a little lower. It should go a little lower. I don't think that DXY is allowed to just reclaim support. And by the way, I checked out the euro dollar chart. There's no real resistance. I mean, it can go higher on the euro US dollar. The US dollar Japanese yen, look at this. What a coincidence. At 10151, 152, something reversed. I mean, this was CPI numbers. Was it fudged? Probably, but they all are. But what a coincidence, because this is the absolute red line. I always thought something would break here, but to be honest, something didn't break. It was just CPI coincidence. But what a coincidence that at 152, we reversed. And the point is, this can go lower. I mean, this can go all the way down to here, the low end of this. Last time we tested this, we went all the way down there. Then we rallied. Well, we might as well go all the way back down again. So this could go to 149. And who knows, maybe then we flush 149. This would make the DXY go lower, So I think 103 is in the cards. I'm not going to look at the other currencies because they don't have too much weighting. But, there's room to move higher. So for me, the DXY, you can go down to 103. That would obviously help commodities. Let's check commodities, starting with copper, which, to be honest, did not bode too well. I mean, look at this huge, strong candle. It just didn't do that well. I mean, think about it. We touched resistance, the last high. Okay, I understand why that's resistance, but to close this far lower is a bit strange because the market's up huge. That helps copper, and the dollar's down huge. That helps copper, and they were really down huge and up huge. So this should have been screaming higher. I mean, at least 3.8 or something, or at least testing 3.8. But instead, we closed far off its high of day. For me, yeah, we could go higher today with the dollar continuing lower and the market's going higher. That's what I think is going to happen. But I don't think it's going to close above 3.72 now, just because of yesterday's action. So down we go. I don't know. I expected more. Every time I expect it to go down, it sort of holds. And then when I expect it to go higher, it just underperforms. I mean, it does the move I usually predict, but it just underperforms. So I don't know. It's a bit of a lazy commodity at the moment. I don't know. I guess that's the way I'd describe it. Natural gas. Reversed, you can tell. This just reiterates the point that natural gas does not care what the market does, the dollar does. It just works on its own supply demand impulses. Just down, didn't care, did not partake in the festivities. Down we go back to basically local support. I'm going to call it 3.15-ish. So today also, I don't know, just holding this low of the retracement from this big pop we did at $3. I just think it will reverse and go up. But it did it also here. It popped, came all the way back down, popped. Eventually grinds its way up. So maybe that's what's going to happen, just sideways action and then eventually goes up. But it would have been perfect to continue from Monday's action if you wanted to go up. But no, it's it's just going sideways at the lows here, at the local lows, but still in an uptrend. So let's see what happens. Oil, honestly, oil, given what's happened, the markets go up, that usually helps oil, right? There's going to be more demand. And then you got the dollar down, that helps oil as a commodity. But we had a sideways day. I didn't even check the oil news. There must have been some local oil news. Was it I don't know. But I mean, with war tensions, that should always help also on the buy side. So I'm not sure why it had such a reversal. I mean, look, it went all the way up here. That was nice, touched 80, but then closed red. I'm not sure. I think it should go to 82, and I think yesterday would have been the perfect day to do it in one go. But there you go. Bit strange. I don't really understand that. So let me know if you do know. Maybe it was news. But otherwise, I'd expect it to continue higher. Today, I expect the DXY to continue lower, not much though. The markets to continue higher. Therefore, oil should continue a little higher, maybe retest 80, see what happens. Bit strange oil. Uranium, it just, yeah, it didn't outperform the markets yesterday because that was just a wild day in the markets, but it just keeps going up. Nice little candle there, little hammer retesting the descending, the mini descending. It's going to go straight to 28.5, test it, maybe go sideways, maybe have one or two red days, then close above it, and then up we go to 31.5. Uranium is just amazing, amazing. So yeah, it didn't outperform the markets, but it's just continuing its trend of going upwards. All right, gold, which is having a little bit of a party early in the morning here in Europe. So gold did well. Gold did what you expected to do on a day where the market goes down. Sorry, the market goes up, the dollar goes down. It already had this nice reversal on Monday. That was a good day. We tagged 1950 pretty much. And yeah, look at this continuation at 1970, which is kind of mini resistance just from this support here. And I don't know, I just feel like it's slightly resistance. But the real resistance is obviously 2010, which is the high we made last time. Is 1980 going to be resistance? I don't think so. It was before. It was supposed to be before. It was a little bit, but I don't really see much resistance until 2000/2010. So as long as we can keep going, but I think this depends on the DXY and yields a little bit, but more the DXY. So it's going to be quite simple. Just watch the dollar. I don't even think the markets count too much. So that's gold. Nice continuation of the reversal. Now back in that sort of uptrend. I mean, look, we had a massive squeeze up. We retraced a little bit down to general support, and now we're bouncing back up. And if we keep going, then we'll squeeze up to the absolute record highs of history. So it looks good for gold, to be honest. Silver also looks good. It needed this reversal, this hammer reversal, and just what I thought it would do to 21.8, and then a massive continuation. We needed silver to outperform. It did already on this reversal, in my opinion, and then it really did it yesterday. Yesterday was like 3 point something percent, basically 4% move at one point, and we're continuing. Resistance is a lot more obvious on silver compared to gold. It's 23.5-ish. Once we close above here, that will really do it. Then we move to 25. Then we're talking the big numbers again. So maybe this time round, when we rally, silver will be outperforming gold, and that's probably what we need for the real pump. So if we can get silver, close above 23.5, hitting 25, gold above 2000, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the launch pad. Okay, GDXJ, massive move. I'll check GDX in a second, but look how low we are compared to everything. Look how, gold and silver, gold near record highs, silver looking like it's going to outperform. The markets are on fire, but let's see how much markets affect GDX if they pull back. I just feel like we have so much upside in the miners. They were up strong yesterday. I mean, 6% move is big. You had some miners up 10% more, a lot of them between 6 and 12%. It's a big move. So, but we have the same sort of move just to reach the old high up here. Another 5% to reach 36 on GDXJ. So if we have continuation, basically another day like today, GDX, same thing. Actually out underperformed, but that makes sense because just as silver beats gold, GDXJ beats GDX on the way up when it's a real aggressive move. Another 5-6% in the cars until next resistance at 30. So there you go. You know, it looked horrible 1 or 2 days ago or 3 days ago, but now it looks great. Um, let's see what happens. But it was an absolutely vicious day, and it was very nice to see. I'll tell you what, though, Bitcoin didn't partake in that rally, and that I found a little strange. But I haven't been following Bitcoin too much, at least in these videos. Obviously, it's been on its march to 40,000, but that was a little interesting. It just isn't the inflation hedge, is it, when it goes down on such news and doesn't go up on opposite news. Anyway, good luck. Let's see what happens today. I hope you found that useful.